Alright, what's up guys, Unification here, and I am here with Alienator 11.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's Alienator 11 here.
And this is just going to be like a discussion video. We are talking about it's kind of old news, but it's still very relevant. It's about the Tome of Prophecy and the Foreteller script and the secret movies that were just kind of released and like kind of just talked about recently. And yeah, it's just gonna be talking about it's not really a news video so much as just discussing it and talking about our ideas about what certain things could mean behind it. And yeah, so the Foreteller script is something from Kingdom Hearts Chi, which actually contained a tome of prophecy that told of future events about the Keyblade War, about how it's actually said this: the war in that place will lead to the defeat and destruction of the light. The world will be enveloped in eternal darkness. And this is extremely similar to what young Xehanort and says to young Ericus. So Xehanort tells Ericus, but you already knew that, didn't you? And this kind of poses the question of when does this talk take place that Xehanort says this, you know? Let me just see this real quick.
Yeah, it's obviously when they're in their younger ages, so it's obviously not. It's after the Keyblade War, but before the events of Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, the thing that's weird about it though is that Xehanort somehow knows about what was said in the Tome of Prophecy because he understands that, and he also mentioned something about the Lost Masters, which we still don't really know who the Lost Masters are yet. Like, a lot of people kind of have assumptions that it's the Foretellers from Kingdom Hearts Chi, but no one really knows for sure. So, young Xehanort, obviously, in Kingdom Hearts 3D, he was approached by Xehanort's Heartless, and he was sent in on a time travel whole thing that where he was sent on a mission to complete the plan that Organization 13 was meant for. So it's kind of maybe this is kind of after Xehanort maybe comes back, as maybe he comes back to the time when he is still young, but when the right time that he should be in, but he has all this new information about it or something.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Maybe he could all the information he gained as when he grows older, he goes back in time, tells his young form about it, something like that, what he learned throughout his years, all this stuff. He could just tell him all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so this, the question, this is another thing though, when Xehanort tells Ericus, but you already knew that, didn't you? This kind of implies that Ericus must also somehow know about the Tome of Prophecy, because, Xehanort, he wouldn't really say that unless he somehow knew that Ericus would have known something about that. Just the way that Xehanort says that kind of confuses me, just the way he's talking to Ericus, and because it kind of implies that Ericus knows something too.
Yeah, it just depends on who their master was, how if he could even either give their master the information, Master Xehanort could go back in time and give their master the information.
Yeah, because he says how their master tells that story all the time.
Yeah.
And, but Ericus kind of says he doesn't know about the Lost Masters, or he says he doesn't know about the Lost Masters, but he knows about the battle between light and darkness or something along those lines. So yeah, there's something that they both know something, but there's something extra that Xehanort knows that Ericus doesn't about it.
Yeah, I think that was it's called the Foretellers.
Yeah,
I don't know if he knows about the Foretellers. Yeah.
So that
And
means
the
their
Lost
master
Masters.
must also, because if the master tells the story, then their master must know something about it too.
Yeah.
Because maybe the master is a foreteller, or maybe he has like a connection to it or something like that. So what's next here? Alright, so let me see. Okay, so in the secret movie that was just recently released, Xehanort is talking to Breg, and Xehanort mentions that he doesn't yet have the keyblade that Master Xehanort wields, that is seen in like Birth by Sleep and in 3D when he is the older Xehanort. So this means that there is a weird timeline here that so this confirms that kind of either young Xehanort either went back in time, because this is another thing, he says this keyblade is somehow connected to the Keyblade War. So Xehanort, we know Xehanort went back in time to the Keyblade War now to somehow get this keyblade, or he maybe somehow acquired it some other way that we can't really understand yet. So
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Like,
Well, it probably has to do, probably because usually like it could be told by Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and like all the information could have been passed down by him, and he couldn't acquire the Keyblade himself because it was Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, who told him all this stuff, and not Master Xehanort himself. So that maybe that's why he doesn't have the Keyblade right now.
okay.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Alright, so yeah, what's next? So this also, this could be one of the Foreteller's keyblades, like I said. So this also might pose the question of like, what was Xehanort doing when he went back in time? Like he knows about the Lost Masters, and he knows about this keyblade, and he knows something about the Foretellers and the Tome of Prophecy. So Xehanort has somehow gotten his hands on all these things. So this kind of implies that either he has a connection to the Foretellers, or maybe even that he somehow is a Foreteller. That I don't know how that would work, but it's kind of interesting that like he knows all this information about all of it.
Yeah, I'm thinking he already has he already has the Foreteller script, and that's how the events of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance ended at the end of when Sora was sleeping at the organization's member room. I don't know what that's called.
It was Castle Oblivion. I
Yeah,
think,
that's how all the events played out in the end, and that's how we knew it was gonna play out like that.
Yeah.
As it says in the Foreteller script, how it says the world will be enveloped in darkness, and and it knows all about the future. So that's what I'm thinking. He just has the Foreteller script, or some sort of he acquired it some way. I don't know how though, but that's how he knows all about the events that were going on at the end of Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah, so on to the next topic, Maleficent, the Maleficent secret movie that was just released. It says that in the secret movie, Maleficent says that the journal that Sora and the gang uses to record the events, she says that and the data in it somehow have a connection to the Tome of Prophecy. So this is really interesting. This kind of poses the question of what the Jiminy's journal actually is, and how it has a connection to the Foreteller script and the Tome of Prophecy, because possibly the Jiminy's journal is the part of the Foreteller script, maybe.
Maybe Jiminy Cricket's a Foreteller.
Or yeah, this is like really confusing, because the Foreteller script, you would think that it would already kind of have everything written in it, and maybe I don't know, that's weird.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking since they're talking about the data world and and Jiminy's journal. I think that maybe the Foreteller script could be like inscribed somewhere in the journal. Like I don't know. Like there's two journals in the beginning of Recoded. So maybe like when Nominee altered it, like somehow, like some could have been like some of the Foreteller script could have been visible by Maleficent or something. Like when she went into the data world. That's how. That's probably why she wanted to go into the data world, because Master Xehanort told her all about this stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, and Maleficent also mentions something about recreating the world of the future with the Tome of Prophecy if she had it. So, this kind of like adds like a whole nother like thing that like the Tome of Prophecy. So, this kind of makes me think now that maybe like maybe altering the Tome of Prophecy could change the events that happen. So because she like maybe by Maleficent saying this, she's trying to get her hands on the Tome of Prophecy to maybe like alter it and try to change the outcome of things, or I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that could be possible. She wasn't always a bad person in Kingdom Hearts 2, so she obviously betrayed a lot of people. I think that it says that she could extract the power and the people in it, so I think she wants to use that power to her own advantage. And Pete is like in the secret ending, he's talking about taking over worlds. It would be easier to take over worlds with that kind of power. So
Yeah.
I think that could be possible with her wanting to alter the Tomb of Prophecy.
Yeah, and this also kind of brings up something that maybe could actually, like, I just kind of thought of this. Maybe this connects to the Jiminy's journal. Maybe Jiminy is actually writing the Tome of Prophecy. Like, maybe Jiminy is recording these events, and by recording the events, it's actually telling about what is happening in, like, maybe, like, this info somehow becomes, like, part of the script, and this is, like, part of the script that tells about the light and dark battle. Like,
yeah. It says in what's it called? Let me look this up real quick. In the Foreteller script, it says that before my master, before he disappeared, he gave 5 out of 6 followers he gave each of them a Tomb of Prophecy. So maybe the 6th one is related to Jiminy Cricket's journals. Maybe the one that's left out is probably his journal. So I don't know, but that's just a random guess. But yeah, so I don't know why he didn't give the last one a Tomb of Prophecy, but possibly that could be it.
yeah, so I'm trying to think. So this also brings up the question that if this kind of theory is true, that Jiminy is actually writing the Tome of Prophecy, then it would have to, like, mean that somehow this got back into the past, because if Jiminy is actually, like, writing the Tome of Prophecy, or if he's, like, doing something with the Tome of Prophecy, then something would have to happen to it to get this information somewhere else that it would kind of tell about all these things.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because with the data world, I think it just, like, maybe I don't remember what they were doing in the data world, but I think that's what they were looking for. Just some data of the Foreteller script that relates to what they're trying to find.
Yeah.
I don't know but I don't think they ever found anything at all. Just they were there and got in trouble. But yeah, I think that's what they're trying to look for. Just didn't say it.
Yeah, like this is another thing. Like, maybe the war that in the place that led to the defeat of and the destruction of light, the world will be enveloped in eternal darkness. This is kind of a more cryptic message, like it's kind of written in a way that like it's kind of just said in like a way that it's kind of, it has like a certain way of saying it. Like it, when you look at what Naminé said, the like their hurting will be mended when they return to end it. So she somehow edited it herself. Like she used her powers to tell about it. So who's to say that maybe the Tome of Prophecy actually is Jiminy's journal, and Naminé or maybe even Jiminy somehow changed it to say that this war happened, and maybe like the war is telling about that the war is telling about something that didn't actually happen yet, that isn't the Keyblade War. Maybe it's something that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, at first I thought it'd be about like Xion and Axel and Roxas and all them, but yeah, I guess it could also relate to the Foretellers and just reviving them, because it says you can also extract the people and from the power in that written future. So I guess that can also be related to that as well.
Yeah. So that's really like that's about it. So we went over the two secret movies that were just released. We went over kind of the information from a while back with the trailers that were released, telling about the conversation between Xehanort and Ericus. So just to kind of wrap up, there's like the Tome of Prophecy. Xehanort somehow either got his hands on it or knows about it, and same thing with the Keyblade. Xehanort, through the time travel that his future Heartless put him through, he somehow got access to all these things, and along with that, he the Tome of Prophecy somehow is connected to Jiminy's journal, and because of that, we don't know if Jiminy's writing it and somehow got in the future, or if Jiminy has one of the Tome of Prophecies and he's like continuing it. Like, we don't really know these things, but I think they're all possibilities. Like, just the way that they changed the story in 3D to include all this crazy time stuff, I think that like so like the transporting of all these things around into different time periods just seems like it could have happened anyway. Like, I don't know, maybe just like going along with the Jiminy's journal being the Tome of Prophecy and getting in the past. Maybe the past, this is gonna sound kind of stupid and like making the story really more convoluted, but like maybe like the past actually is the future. Like maybe like
history repeating itself.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Maleficent, like when Maleficent like mentioned, this is one of the quotes from it: recreating the world of the future. Maybe maybe the Keyblade War and the Foretellers actually occurred like after everything happened, and maybe like the things that Maleficent is trying to do with the Tome of Prophecy and the things that actually like happen, like just occurring between all of them, and the Jiminy's journal somehow being connected. Maybe it all kind of points to kind of like it be like the future actually being the past. I don't know, like or the present being, or like the past being the future rather. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just like really weird the way that they're starting to tell the story.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna lead up to like the Keyblade War just gonna happen again, just with a few less people than compared to like 1,000. Just like this is gonna be the past Keyblade War.
Yeah,
it's already happened twice, kind of, with Vanitas versus Ventus, and then in the past there's a Keyblade War, so it's happening again. It's happened, so it could happen twice now.
Yeah. So just to conclude, I think right now that the two things that I think that I'm gonna predict, just Just gonna say it, just predicting. Either Jiminy is writing about what is happening, and that is going to somehow be brought back to the past, or Jiminy is actually writing the Tome of Prophecy, and it is going to lead to the future, and like the time stream and like the time of events that we think is like happening is actually all mixed up in the world somehow. Anything you want to say to conclude?
Yeah, I just think that he's he's probably like the sixth follower, or like some like his ancestor or something, or like someone that's related to Jiminy Cricket could be the sixth follower that wasn't given the Tomb of Prophecy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of applies to that.
All right, so I think that's it for the video. This video is kind of confusing with the way we were talking about this stuff. But
Yeah,
it's a confusing topic. Like, I mean, I got caught up in a lot of spots just thinking about it. I didn't really know what to say.
yeah, the Jiminy Cricket was a really good idea.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I can't wait to actually see. Like, I just can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to see what all this is about. It's just thinking about it is making my brain hurt. I don't know. Alright, so yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you all.
Yeah, and thank you for letting me be in your video.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. I'll link his channel in the description. You can check him out. It's Alienator11. Yeah, so I'll see you all next time. Unification out. Peace.
Peace.